Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Bunny Operator here. Today we're going to go over adapting the Leight Impact Sport Ear Pros to an OpsCore helmet using the OpsCore amp arms and the AXL Advanced adapter system. If you weren't familiar with my previous video where I installed the Noisefighters Sightline gel pads and the heatsink cover, I'll go ahead and link that video here. First things first, you're going to have to remove the headband off of the Howard lights. Now, their arms here basically are tensioned, so you would turn it 90 degrees and then use tension to pop it out. Now note that the cables are actually permanently installed into the headband and you're going to have to cut them out. So this is a permanent modification. So if you ever wanted to go back to a standard headband, then you would just need a replacement cover to replace this now damaged and destroyed or permanently modified headband. Next thing you need to do is to dismantle the OpsCore arms, or the OpsCore amp arms. I've already done this, but essentially what it is the unit comes together like this, with the ball in there and the screws and spring that's actually on this one. That's there. So you take all that out and you're going to retain the screw spring as well as the ball detent and the arms. You're going to take out their factory screws and just set them off to the side, as well as removing the arms for the OpsCore amp ear protection. You're going to move those to the side. You can go ahead and go over to AXL Advance's website and check them out here. It's AXL Advanced. You can follow their link anywhere around here. Go to this website down below. Here's the information to check out install videos. But the install video was not specific to the Howard Light, so I wanted to do one for you because some of you out there might be using Howard Lights. And well, simply because, you know, I started off with these, I had them lying around, and frankly, it's for my fellow peasants out there, my fellow folks who utilize the cheaper ear pro starting off, and then, you know, you just want to adapt something to it and test them out. So the AXL Advanced kit starts off basically like this. It has two of the wings, one screw, a nut, and two little posts here. The OpsCore arm is going to be set to the side with here, along with the little spring from the original screw and the little ball detent thing here. You set that off to the side. Now note that the AXL Advanced kit or at least for the Howard Lights, is side specific. The side with the dial knob to turn on and off the power has a slightly different piece right here. That is to allow you to clear the controls and still allow you to manipulate the controls as needed. So we're going to go ahead and get started using this side first, the side with the controls. Now, one thing that the video didn't specifically tell you is that the nut itself should be placed on the bottom. I don't know if you can see this here, but there's a little cutout. Get that to focus. There he goes. And this nut actually sits inside like that. Get that to focus. There he goes. This one is actually stable in there. It doesn't seem to move. So you're going to go ahead and place this in a vertical position. Let me go ahead and adjust the camera down here for a little bit. Okay, now that the camera is down a little bit lower so you can see a little bit better, you're going to take those posts and you're going to place it in a vertical position like that. You are going to take the arm that goes over the power control, going to slot it in the index tab that's on the side, and you are going to clip it to the other side. Keeping that in place, you're going to take the other wing, do the same thing to this side. You're going to have to give it a little bit of massaging till it gets over there, because this is tension, and there it goes. Now you're going to take your top post here. You see it has little slots right there to fit into the post. You're going to place that down. Then you're going to take your ops core arm. Let's make sure this is the correct left side. And it is. These are side oriented. You can tell by the bottom tab here. This should be at the bottom. So since this is on the left side and the power control is on the left side, the way you can tell is the microphone should ideally be facing forward. The microphone's on the ear pro. So this is the left side ear, and this is the left side control arm. You're going to, from here, place the cut portion of it into the cut portion of the post. And from this point, you're going to take the screw that you took from the ops core arm itself and take the provided screw that AXL Advanced gave you. You're going to insert those together. Take the ball detent piece that you took out from the ops core arm itself, place that in there, and then go ahead and screw the pieces in until the threads contact. Now, it is recommended that you use some form of thread locker, and I would do that off camera once this instructional video is done. So just hand tighten for now till you get your movement on. You see there's free movement here. So that's one side down. We're going to go and do the other side. Same thing, take the bottom post with the male side and the nut portion at the bottom. We're going to place that there on a vertical tier. Take the one arm, lock it into the side, and adapt the posts accordingly. Take the other arm, take that and go ahead and stretch that over till it's tensioned on. There it goes. Take the female post with the holes on the bottom, place that on top. Take your screw provided by AXL Advanced and the spring from the original arm. Place that in there. Going to drop your, now note that since this is the right side, we're going to have it in this orientation here. So place that in there where the cups are. Place the cup side of the little washer, the plastic washer, and go ahead and insert and start screwing until the threads contact. There it goes. Once again, I'll apply thread locker after the instructional video is over. There it goes. It's just hand tighten. One more time on this side. Very good. Check for free play and movement. There it goes. Full rotation. Okay. Now we're going to take our ops core helmet and go ahead and install from here. Okay, I went ahead and changed it to a wider view angle for you. So the way that the ops core rail system works is essentially these notches are what integrates with this little tab here. So what you're going to do is I'm actually going to fold this out here just to make it a little bit easier for you to see. There he goes. So the little tab here indexes and locks into these slots here. And since this is the left side, yes it is, it's the left side, you're going to take it and just slide it right on until it clicks in. It's going to be a little bit stiff right now. That's what you want. There he goes. Clicks in. That's one side. We're going to take the other side. Same thing. I'm going to go ahead and open this out to make it a little bit easier. There it goes. And slide the side in. Just try to make sure that the wires aren't kinked up, so I'm going to unwind this really quick here. Okay, and I like to, for at least for this example, to keep the wires underneath for now instead of over. And the reason for that is because the Howard Leight cables are on the shorter side for this application, and they tend to bind. So you see how it wants to bind right now. So I'm actually going to close this one in to give it a little bit more room for this side to lock in. So once again, you're going to slide in. It's gonna be a little bit tight, so apply a little bit of pressure. There he goes, it clicks in. See, I didn't do this one here, so I'm going to actually rotate this completely around to give the cables a little bit more space here. There he goes. You can rotate the full arm completely around, just to keep the cables underneath. Now, I went ahead and did this ahead of time, but you can essentially, the OpsCore arms kit comes with a Velcro liners that you actually attach to the inside of the helmet, and it gives you these little tabs here, the one wrap essentially, to keep the cables in line. So I like to keep this loose for this application because the Howard Leight cables are pretty short and they tend to bind, so it doesn't give you kind of the full rotation. That's one of the things that I've learned from using this application, is that the Howard Leight cables are pretty short. So I don't actually use the cable ties to lock in. If you look at OpsCore's website for their amps, their cables actually run up and then down over here and then down underneath. But you can't really do that with the Howard Leights due to the limitations of the cable. But that's basically it. There's the install of the Howard Leights with the OpsCore amp arms and the AXL Advanced adapters. So that's how it would sit on application. That's how it would sit on this side. There he goes. I do have actually the 4D pads coming in. I ordered them from TNVC, but the OpsCore factory pads are not very comfortable, so I had to get upgrades. So observations so far, other than the cable being short, is the square shape of the Howard Leights kind of interfere with your helmet. So at least for me and my head size, my head shape, it interferes with your helmet a little bit. So ideally, if I did this again, I would probably go for like Peltors or MSA Sordens, and then which have a little bit more of a rounder top, and those seem to fit a little bit better for this application. But you can adjust accordingly, adjust the arms. You see how it does rotate. It allows you to basically adjust for your head fitment. So if you were to pop this out, you can rotate basically 180 degrees or so, and then close this up for storage. But because of the shape of the Howard Leights compared to the OpsCore amps, the amps and other variants out there for EarPro, they actually fold flush to the helmet. But the Howard Leights, because of the nature of their shape, doesn't allow you to do that. As well as sometimes the shorter cable will bind. So that's pretty much it for this video. As far as the adapting of the Howard Leight EarPros, the Impact Sport EarPros, using the AXL Advanced adapter kit to the OpsCore amp arms to an OpsCore helmet using their helmet attachment system or their helmet accessory attachment system. Note that it's specific to that. If you have any other system like a Team Wendy or the hard-headed veterans, they use a different adapter system because unlike the OpsCore, which is a proprietary attachment system, which uses these slots and that I showed you earlier, they use more of a 1913 or Picatinny rail section and hybrid with M-Lock slots. If you have that type, then you're going to need an adapter from A&A Tactical. My buddy Rex, aka Mr. Pew Life, he did a video. I'll go ahead and post a screenshot here for you to go ahead and reference there if you have that type of mounting system. All it does is take the additional rail section piece for you to adapt OpsCore amp arms to it. Now, he did note in that video that the play was a little bit more substantial, and this is because they were made for the OpsCore style, that it's going to be a lot more secure. You can see that I had to apply quite a bit of pressure to get the rails on there. And that's up to you depending on what you have, depending on the system you want to do, but there's always a method around it. I believe he used specifically the MSA Swordens on there, or maybe he used Peltors, I can't recall. But you can check out his video, and shout out to him. Rex is a cool dude. If you have questions about this, or if there was anything I missed and something you want to know about, go ahead and comment below, let me know. As I noted before, the initial observations were that the Howard Leight cables are pretty short for this particular application, and you kind of lose full control and ability to use the arms the way that was intended. And I will likely eventually switch these out for the future to a different ear pro system. And the main reason why I wanted to test these was because a lot of you folks out there have Howard Lights, and this might be a viable option for you, and maybe you were considering this type of adapter for your OpsCore helmet or whatever helmet type you have. Of course, the OpsCore arms, their amp arms, are unique to OpsCore, and there's always like the A&A Tactical fast system that mounts, instead of back here, it mounts right here. But the downside to that type of system is you lose all this rail section to mount other things. But there's always a way around there. You can mount accessories on the Velcro on top, on a 1913 rail in front. But the OpsCore system basically uses the back of the helmet, the typically unused space back here, in order to mount their ear pro. So it was one of the benefits that I liked, and that's why I opted to go for this particular system. Let's see if I can actually twist this. There you goes. There you go. That's a better view for you. So that's why I chose to use this system and test it out, just so that you folks out there have additional data points to reference in case you needed it or this was something you were considering. The secondary thing is that the shape, the more square shape of the Howard Lights, tend to interfere with the side of the helmet for me and my fitment of this helmet. Your mom may vary. You may be able to comfortably wear it, but just because the nature of this particular helmet, the helmet pads inside, we'll see that when the 4D pads come in, we'll see if that changes. But the nature of the pads inside and the shape of the ear pro combined with the shape of my head sometimes interferes on the ability to quickly and efficiently put the ear pro on using the system because of that. So, just things to consider, more data points for you. Like I stated before, let me know if you have questions, comment below, or help each other out. If I don't have an answer, or if you see the question first, answer the question. We're all community here, so it's all good. As usual, YouTube algorithms, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, forward to anybody who you think the information could help, or anyone else that's looking for this type of system. So remember that a lot of us out there, we do these things, frankly, because we want to know the information, but also want to provide data points for you folks out there in case this is something that you want to consider. So, do support us, do support my channel, do support the other channels out there, the YouTuber, Instagrammers, whatever you got going on, all the folks that do this stuff for you for free. We certainly do appreciate it. And most of us out there, we don't get any money out of this. It's simply things that we've learned through our own trial and error, and we want to pass the information to you so that you have a data point and maybe you don't make the same mistakes that we're doing on camera, if you will. So that's all I got for today. Thank you for tuning into the video. This is the adapting of the Leight Impact Sport Ear Pro using the AXL Advanced adapters to the OpsCore amp arms to an OpsCore helmet using the OpsCore rail mounting system. So stay tuned for the next video. Bunny Operator signing out.